Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Thanks for obviously the support on the last couple of, well, actually all of the videos that I've been posting recently. Just before the video starts, I would just like to, one, run through some ground rules, and two, quickly just tell you about my new Discord. So we'll start with the Discord, just very quickly. Obviously, if you guys want to join, feel free. Obviously, if I'm not posting and things, I'll be updating people on there on like what's going on more than I will do on YouTube and things. So just if you want to know what's going on and obviously you want to keep up to date with my posts and things, obviously feel free to go over there. It's completely up to you. Feel free to join, and I'd appreciate it if you joined as well. Yeah, feel free to chat away. But yeah, the next thing, just some rules, like kind of things here. Obviously, I'm not gonna put price into this. Obviously, I will obviously tell you about the prices of each item and why you should buy it, for what reason. Obviously, my reason is just my opinion. Obviously, if you're going to buy a starter ship, it is your money, and that's down to you. I'm not telling you have to spend any more than the Aurora Mark II or the any other package that is the cheapest package you can buy. So yeah, obviously you don't have to, but if you want to, if you wanted to look into one of these and obviously listen to someone reviewing it and obviously things like that, who's like looked at all of the ships in the game and kind of seen what they do and obviously how they work and things, then obviously feel free to listen to my opinion, but don't take it seriously. Like, if you wanted to make your own decision rather than just listening to me yabber on about some ships for about 20 minutes or so. But anyways, yeah, let's hop into it. So yeah, we're going to start off with the Mustang Alpha, right? And obviously, a lot of people usually see this as like a nostalgic ship because for the longest time, this has been the starter ship along with the Aurora Mark 1. Obviously, both of them were very good, and obviously, a lot of people do use them as starter ships and do not buy any other ship ever. And obviously, save up in game currency and then buy it, or buy the ships that they want rather than spending real money, which is really good, by the way. I think that's fantastic. I've spent a little bit of money on the game. I'm not, you know, a whale as some per se. But obviously I've spent a little bit more because I do like some ships and I would rather have them. But obviously you can go ahead and buy, well, obviously now it's the Aurora Mark II rather than these. But obviously if you wanted to buy them just to be in your collection or whatever, but if I'm going to be completely honest, I believe that this is only it's not an S tier for me personally, like, because even though it's really good and it gets you from A to B, it has a couple of weapons on, gets you maybe through a couple of small bounty contracts and things like that. And you obviously you could go do mercenary missions, things along those lines. It obviously isn't the best out of all of them here, and you know, if I wanted to do it on like nostalgia and basically like, oh, this is the GOAT, which, don't get me wrong, it's my starter ship as well. So I get where people come from with that. Totally understand it. But yeah, I'm gonna put it in B, right? And obviously this might be very controversial, it might not, but I think it's dead in the middle between good and really bad, right? Because it gets you around, right? And it allows you to do some contracts to get you started into the money. So it isn't like some of the other ships here that we've got like this. Okay, this isn't a starter ship per se, but I've put it there because I feel like in future they're gonna have something like the Starlight, because it's the only one available, the only ship other than like the Starfarer for refueling, and it's really cheap compared to like the Starfarer and things in that area, and there's no other ships like that. So I'm putting it here as like an honorable mention sort of thing. Now, obviously that the Golem and where is it? Oh, it's not even here. Hang on 2 seconds. Alright, there we go. It's fixed. Yeah, so I don't know how I completely forgot about this. I actually think I just forgot to drop it in to my files when I added these to this website. But the Salvation as well. They are set role ships. Like, you can use them for other things, but they kind of have one purpose and one purpose only. Whereas other things like the Mustang, the Avenger Titan, so on, you can use for quite a few other things as well. So yeah, I think it's a B because it's in the middle. It's not the absolute best that you can buy, but it's also not the absolute worst you can buy. So I think that's a fair decision by me, but obviously other people, like, obviously feel free to leave your decisions down in the comments and your opinions on it and where you think you would put things. But yeah, so the next one we're going to go for, just because it's down at the bottom as well. I know it's over here, but you know, you get the point. The old Aurora Mark 1. Now this used to just be called the Aurora, I believe it's MR, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously this was, again, a part of like a starter package, just like the Mustang Alpha. So yeah, I mean, again, nostalgic. It's been there for a long time, and then it's obviously been replaced with the Aurora Mark II now, and obviously we'll get to that at some point. But in my opinion, it's gonna go in the same place because it pretty much is the exact same thing as the Mustang Alpha. It allows you to do the same thing. Like, you can go and explore, fly around, do whatever you need. You can travel from A to B. Obviously, you might need to make refueling stops a lot more than some of these ships on the list because they have way smaller like fuel capacity and things. Obviously their shields are very, very early game, so they're very like weak and things like that. So they can only be doing like really small bounty missions and mercenary missions. Like, obviously the higher you can get mercenary missions, like, you can do them because obviously that's dependent on you as the player to armor up and maybe snipe people, go in with a group of people, whatever you want to do. That's dependent on you. Whereas when it comes to ship situations and obviously things like shields and things like that, they're not the best. So this is just based on, yes, they're good. You can buy them because of the cheap ones, and obviously they are the cheapest out of like a lot of these. But at the end of the day, there is other ones that are out there that are better than these. So we're not just going to jump ahead and go to the Aurora Mark II because that's just recently been added. So even though it's cheap and it is now the main starter pack that people will buy, we'll get to that in a minute. So we're going to go with the C8X Pisces here. Again, these two are just going to go in the same spot. Because they do, again, these are both the same. So there's the C8X and there's the C8. Now these things I reviewed myself, and I think they have very, very little difference. Like, very, very little things. Like, it's been a little while, so please bear with me. Like, I don't remember every ship off like the top of my head. But I think there's very little difference between these two. And I think one of them might have a slightly better shield. Please don't take that with like a grain of salt, because again, I can't remember off the top of my head every ship in the game. Like every shield and things like that, you know what I mean? So again, these go in the same spot because they're very early game. And these are mainly designed for exploration, not for combat situations. Like, they can be made to withstand certain combat situations, but they're not designed to be put in fighting situations. They're made for exploration and leaving like a mothership behind and flying away to see something and then coming back, or go and explore something and then coming back. Like, as you can see, there's the Karak in the back of this picture. If some of you didn't know that, obviously a lot of people will know that because people play the game and obviously watch these videos. But if you are new, obviously the Karak is quite a large ship that can carry one of these, and you can obviously leave it behind and fly out, do what you want in one of these, and then come back to your Karak, so on. But if you buy these just as starter ships, obviously you won't get the Karak unless you save up for it. So yeah, obviously, again, I'm going to leave these here. I might fiddle around with them at the end, but for now, I'm quite happy with them being B because I really enjoy them. I actually enjoy them a little bit more than these two. and they're a bit bigger than the two of them, and that you can fit more people inside. Like you could maybe fit like a pulse or two inside, or maybe it's a hover quad. I don't think you could actually fit a hover quad even in either, but a pulse or two you might get in. But you can fit more people, and you can fit a little bit of cargo, like boxes, like very small boxes in the back. You wouldn't be able to fit anything else. But yeah, those definitely I'm gonna stick with B. This lot here for now. I'm quite happy with those. Um, but yeah, I think the next one we're gonna go for is just an honorable mention. So obviously you cannot buy this as a starter pack in the starter pack bundles on the store, but it's a pack. It's a starter ship into refueling, which I think should be on the main page. For like the same with like the salvation and stuff. Like I know obviously the salvation and stuff is on there, but I think it should be put on there as a starter ship for getting into refueling. Um, but yeah, that's just my opinion. But again, this I'm gonna stick it in. Where do I want to put this? Let's have a think. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stick it in low A. So obviously, it's just because it's in A right now doesn't mean anything. Anything that goes in A now, unless I decide otherwise, will be put like in front of this. So it's low A to like high B. So basically right here, just barely squeezing into A. And the reason why is because this has a bed, it has obviously some storage on board, it has a cockpit, it has refueling. Like you can do refueling as its main job. It can get you to A to B. It can travel like quite far with different things like that. You can obviously make some pretty decent money off of it. And it's one of the relatively more cheaper options compared to like the Cutlass Black, for instance, or the Nomad. Obviously, there's like the Sulin as well, which is one of the more expensive ones. But again, I think that these make kind of sense, but this is just barely squeezing into A purely because it's a really good way to start making some starter money. And I know a lot of these can get you into things, but if someone was like, "Oh, I really like the look of refueling," go for refueling. And obviously, if someone really likes, if they're like, if they buy into this and they go, "Oh, well, I don't really like that," they can again just swap it out for something else. Melt your starter package and buy another one. So, but again, um, yeah, it's a really good ship overall. I've seen inside of it. I've flown it. I've done refueling missions. It's relatively good. Obviously, again, it's barely squeezing into A, but in my opinion only, by the way. So obviously, if you agree with me, just let me know. But if you don't and you would want to change this, tell me as well. I'd really like to hear what everyone has to say. Now, probably one of the favorites out of all of these, and I'm not going to be biased. I am gonna listen to what it has to offer and things like that. But I like it based on its looks and its like maneuverability and everything, rather than what it can do. I know that is kind of what it can do, but when I'm trying to get at is kind of do bounty missions, kind of do mercenary missions, kind of make you money, kind of you get the point. Whereas I like it more for its like looks and things like that is the Avenger Titan. This has been one of my favorite starships. I haven't bought it like in the like with real money or anything. I've always saved up for this in game and bought this as like probably my second ship. And because I'm more of like a mercenary, like bounty kind of person, um, so yeah, I really enjoy flying this ship, but kind of making money. Yes. So this one is less of again like a designated ship like this wise. It's more of a combat based ship. So it's not perfect because it's not like a heavy fighter or anything like that. Like it kind of withstand like some of the massive ships that are in the game now, and it kind of go up against like something like a Karak or something like that by itself to if it's fully manned, because it'll just get absolutely rinsed straight away. But it can do smaller bounty missions. It can absolutely store some cargo in it. or even a really small vehicle or two, depending on what they are, obviously. Um, and obviously, if we got them, Ranger motorbikes anytime soon, they would be a lovely addition to my Avenger Titan. But I guess not, because there's been no talk for them for God knows how many years. But yeah, I think I'm gonna again stick this in A, because it's basically just like these, but better. Because it has better shields, it has better weapons, it has better maneuverability than some of these as well. It's I believe it's a little bit quicker than a lot of them, anyways. Um, Bigger fuel tanks, so on. Obviously, I don't know what's changed because I haven't really been playing Star Citizen a lot recently, so I don't know what's changed as of 4.9 and 4.10. So, uh, obviously that's changed, or if it changed a while ago and I just haven't noticed, then that's on me. I'll put my hands up and say sorry. But yeah, I still think that this is a really good ship, and it's a great kind of all rounder for the price that you pay for it. And even in game, like it's a great all rounder for buying. It's like basically just a bigger and more spacious variant of one of these with a bed. Obviously, I know the Aurora has one, but the Mustang doesn't. Um, it's just better, and obviously you can log off wherever you want to. You can store things in it. You can carry around boxes and maybe go and collect loads of loot. There's loads of things that you can do with it, man. And obviously, again, I'm not being biased, because my bias on it would be like if someone said, "Oh yeah, the Pisces looks better than the Avenger Titan." I would have to disagree. I do like the look of the Pisces, by the way. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying like the Aurora, it doesn't look anything like the Avenger Titan. I much prefer the design of the Avenger Titan and its whole series, actually. Uh, but yeah, that's where I'm putting it for now. So, let's move on, shall we, to the Golem. Now, again, the Golem is another starter ship. It's I can't remember how much it is, but it's more of an expensive one than some of them on the list, and obviously it's more expensive than the Aurora Mark II and the Aurora Mark One Mustang, all that stuff. Same with the Salvation. It's about the same price as the Salvation, but I actually think that this is, yeah, I think it's probably gonna be below the Avenger Titan, and I think I'm gonna put. So these would be on the same level, right? If I could put it like on top of the Golem, it would be like there, right? So one's not better than the other because they are two. Actually, all of these are the same, right? I will just say this, right? Obviously, all of these are the same in my opinion, because they're a role-based ship. They can get you to A to B. They can travel you around and things like that. And obviously, this is an honorable mention. So yeah, it might have a bigger fuel tank than this and this combined or something like that. But that's not the point. Because this is an honorable mention, I'm having to kind of like knock it down a bit. Because obviously, if I put this in it, it's obviously just going to be better than a lot of them if it's got better fuel tanks and things. But they are all entry level into, or beginner level starter ships into like a a trade basically in game, and I think that's kind of good. Like getting you into a kind of like trading game kind of allows you to see what each trade is going to be like. And obviously, some people might not like it, and obviously they can mine for a little bit, sell up, or they can salvage for a little bit, sell up, and buy a new ship. And again, even if they don't like it, they can still use that ship for now as a get around to do other missions that they might like. And then they can, again, either melt their starter pack, which, by the way, be careful because some of them, like during this time right now, it's like Foundation Festival, a lot of them become War Bond because they've got a sale on. So unless you're willing to spend money on it, again, you won't be able to buy certain packages until the event's over. There is some of them obviously available, like I believe the Avenger Titan still on sale for its original price. so on. But yeah, it just depends on obviously your price range, what you want to do in the game, different things like that. So it, I think these are a great set of ships, and they all belong in A tier because they're not like all rounders. They're like a trade that can, yes, fly you around and do different things. But again, I'll go into detail a bit about all of them. So the salvation I've tried, and it's actually really enjoyable to salvage. So if you want to know about salvaging and things like that, it it is fairly enjoyable to use. The only problem is it fills up quite quickly. Um, Compared to something like the Vulture or the Reclaimer and the Moth. They're all salvage ships, by the way. Like further you go in game, the bigger the ship. So your Vulture's like your next step, and then the Moth, and then the Reclaimer. Um, but again, they all fill up, but this fills up quite quickly because it is a very small ship, and you have to scrape everything. The Golem, I've only tried it once. I'm not much of a mining person, so I'm trying not to be biased on it because I know obviously if someone enjoys mining, they're going to enjoy it a lot more than me because I'm not, you know, that set on mining. Like I'll still do it because I have to. There's certain things that you need in game anyways that require you to do mining, so I just have to get used to it. But again, obviously, I would go for a bigger ship. But if I had to pick the Golem, it's really good. Like I have used it. While I was using it, it was quite good. It's literally like the exact same thing as the Mole or there's not yeah or the Prospector. Sorry, it's exactly the same, just in a smaller ship. So it gets the same job done, and obviously I think what's it called, the mining heads and everything are all obviously smaller. It takes more time, things like that, and there's rocks that you cannot break and so on because it's a smaller ship. And it makes sense. Obviously, it's a beginner ship. You are just starting out, but that's why I'm putting them in A tier because they are a really good set of starter ships. The same goes with refueling. Same story again. Obviously, you just do the refueling contracts and you make your money. Um, in my opinion, out of all of them, I still prefer salvaging the absolute best. But that's just me. Some people absolutely hate salvaging, will never touch it, and will prefer to do mining for the rest of their life. Some people will prefer to do none. That's just them. And obviously, we'll just do other contracts, save up, and buy stuff off people. um, Now, I'm going to quickly do this one just now, and it's the 100i. Don't get me wrong, this ship is good, but it's not worth. I don't even think it's not available on the shop's front anymore for now. But when you could buy this if you were to buy this as a starter ship, I'm gonna have to put it in C tier because yes, it gets the job done. Yes, it has some weapons on it and things, but is it worth the money? No. In my opinion, no. It's not D tier because yeah, it can still do the same. It can do a lot of things that these can do, but it's more for. This might sound a little bit silly, but it's more for just people who just want to relax. In my opinion, it's like a luxury. It is a luxury ship, exactly. So it's more of like a if you're just wanting to fly around, explore, maybe land on an 890 jump, um, or even just go to do different things here and there, like flying from A to B, like doing mission contracts and things. That would be when I would obviously recommend you buy the 100i. But out of all of the ships that you could put in this list, the 100i would not be in this list. Like if you had to pick, if you give me a list of every single ship on this list so far, this is the only ship that I'd be like, don't buy, unless you are like made of money. Don't buy it. Obviously people do buy it because it's a nice looking ship. I will give it that because I actually like flying it, but I'd much rather buy it in game. I have nothing against the 100i, but again, that's just me. Now, The Aurora Mark II. We'll just do this now that we've got around a few of them. So this comes with 2 modules as of right now, cargo and combat. I haven't had much experience with the combat module, but I know obviously the cargo module is quite good. But yeah, it's a pretty it's pretty well thought out starter ship, to be fair. It's basically the gold standard of what they want nowadays in every ship. Um, it has a bed, it has storage, cockpit, has decent weapons on it when you put the combat module in it. If not, like I don't remember if it has weapons. It doesn't have weapons when you don't have the combat module. I don't think. I could be wrong. Like I could be just being stupid, but it's been a while since I've used it because I only had one when my friend bought it when he first had the game. But obviously he stopped playing for now because he's busy, and I've been busy as well, so I haven't seen it in a good while. Um, but yeah, it's a really good ship, and honestly, I would recommend it to a lot of people. Obviously, it's the cheapest one out of the pack that you can buy right now. Um, out of all of them, it's the cheapest one. I think it's like I can't remember how much it is. It's like £40, something like that. I don't know if that's including taxes or not, but that's how much it was when I looked on the website. About £40. So yeah, it's a really good starter ship, and I would recommend it because again, it can do all of these things, and you get 2 modules with it, and you can buy them as well. If like you can buy them separately, I think. So if you only want, I don't hold on. So yeah, the only downside to the starter pack is you have to buy the 2 modules separately, which in my opinion doesn't make sense and kind of is a little bit silly. But again, you can buy them in game, I believe. I swear they added them to the shop in game. Um, Again, it's got modularity, which is quite uncommon on ships nowadays. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is the Apollo series ships. Um, and obviously the Aurora Mark II now, which is quite nice. It's quite nice to see actually because I like the kind of modularity aspect of the game. But I think, if I'm gonna be honest, it's a really solid ship for a new player. Like I've seen how much my friend enjoyed it. Obviously, I enjoyed flying around in it as well. Um, and I am gonna be honest. I think this scores an S tier so far because even though it does what these things do, I think it's faster. But as well as that, I mean, it does look pretty damn cool too. Um, and yeah, I mean, you can do a lot of things with it as well. You can, fly around to A to B. You can do mercenary. You can do bounty, depending on what module you've got. You can do small cargo missions. So it gets you into quite a few different things. Um, but also it looks pretty damn badass as well. um, but anyways, yeah, that is just me. That's my opinion on it. Like, obviously, I've seen on Reddit and stuff like that. Like, I just briefly have a look every now and then. And when this came out, people were saying it looks great, and then there was other people who were saying, yeah, I don't really like it. And then there was like the odd few people who were like mixed on it, and so on. Like, but I'm a kind of person who kind of enjoys it. I like it. But yeah, the Nomad. Uh, this is a tough one. Because don't get me wrong, the interior looks great. The bed, the storage, obviously the cargo area on the back, that's also great as well. Um, it's not that great in maneuverability. It's relatively fast. Obviously, you can use it for other things too. So it's pretty much just like a bigger version of the Aurora Mark II, just with I think it actually has less firepower because it only has like 2 front turrets underneath. It also looks like there's only one, but I swear there's 2. It could be wrong, could be even 3, but I only remember having 2. And obviously a tractor beam on the back as well. So if you're in Holland, this is a pretty good starter ship for you. Um, Again, I think ignoring price wise, this is also gonna have to go in here because it is kind of like your entry level into hauling. So it does come with a decent bit of cargo on the back that you can store things on. Um, Obviously the interior I think looks relatively good. I love Consolidated Outlands interior. I think they all look great, like especially in like the Mustang Beta and things like that. They look great. The hoods, everything, the hull, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, like you get the point. Um, it looks really good as well. Obviously, some people say it looks like a beetle, and I would have to agree. It does look like a little beetle. My girlfriend would also agree with that. She calls like half the ships in the game a beetle, or a bug, or an animal. So, I mean, the Reclaimer also does look like a big giant spider when it's clinging off the side of a station and things. So, it kind of makes sense. But at the end of I mean, she did actually just call the Starlight when she first seen it a frog. Uh, there was that. But anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna put it up there because it is again a hauling ship. It gets you into things. It gets you into hauling. You can do some relatively small, like early on contracts and things. Um, but in my opinion, I'm putting it low A because I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of the Nomad, but I'm also saying, from my opinion, that some people don't like hauling. Like I don't like hauling that much, and it gets a bit tedious after a while. So if this is your only option in a ship, it can get a bit tedious now and then. But again, people love it. Some people hate it. Some people don't want to do it ever. That's completely up to people. That's completely up to me. Obviously, yourself. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna put it there because it's a decent semi all rounder. I'll give it that. Right, it does a couple of different things. The same with like the Avenger Titan, but the Avenger Titan has the added perks of being more maneuverable and so on. The cutter. Now, I'm probably gonna get absolutely bashed because me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the cutter, but I'm trying not to be biased because I've flown it. It's a good, it's a great fly. Like it flies great. It's not that I just don't like the look of it. I don't like the interior personally. Again, I love Drake ships. Like I love the Clipper. I've just made a video on that, and a lot of the other ones, like the Cutlass Black. Like the Cutlass Black is again my favorite on this list. But yeah, it's basically more of an exploration ship. It has a little bit of firepower. Again, can get you to A to B and things like. Again, it's gonna be around here, and I think I'm gonna have to put it in just above the Mustang Alpha and the Aurora, because again it has a little bit more cargo room. It has a bed, it has its interior, it has obviously a cockpit with a little bit of firepower, and again it's a decent fly. Like I've flown it. It's quite nice actually. I'll give it that, right. Even though I don't like it, I'm being unbiased because if I'm gonna be honest, if I had to pick out of all of these, I wouldn't pick the cutter myself. Um, but yeah, I've flown it. I've been inside of them before, like when we were doing missions with my friends and stuff. And yeah, I actually don't mind it. It's just it's not one of my like most liked ships in the game. But yeah, it's relatively good. So that's why I'm putting it at the top of B, going into A. Not quite. That's why it's still in B. Otherwise, I'd have put it up here. But again, actually, hold on. I'm just trying to think. I'm just thinking about this. I actually think I'm gonna put it in A, just because it's a little bit better. No, no, I'm gonna stick it in B. I'm gonna keep it in B. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna keep it in B. Yeah, let's do that. Right, moving on. The Intrepid. Again, I really like this ship, but in my opinion, it's kind of like, again, like relaxed, kind of luxury vibes. Hauling wise, it's not the greatest because it has a really small like cargo hold area and it's really tight to get anything in and out. The interior is great, everything like that, fantastic. But again, it's a little bit better than this. Oh man, this is rough. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put this one purely because it only has like what, one cannon. It's not the absolute best ship for like all rounders and stuff. You can do all rounding with it because you can do a little bit of hauling, you can do different things like that. But again, it's not the absolute best. It's more of like a relaxed, laid back kind of ship. Like it's more luxury. It's more like role play. If you want me to be honest, it's more of a role playing ship. Like, hey, look at my like flying apartment that I'm bringing some boxes along to go and store some loot and so on. In my opinion, if I was role playing and I had to pick a ship out of these, and it was like a luxury kind of role play sort of thing, like, oh, look at me, I'm like a rich boy and I've just bought a ship, this would probably be it. Like, this is like a brand new Mercedes. like you know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people don't like Mercedes, and again, it's the same thing as this. But yeah, so I'm gonna put it here in the bottom of B because it's not my personal favorite. It's more of a role playing ship, and again, it does do the things that these do, but just not as well. The only thing that I can do is push it up. No, not even. I don't. I cannot bring myself to put it up like here. Uh the only thing I can do. All right, I'll be honest. I'll put it at the top of B. All right, and I'll tell you for why. Because its gun is technically better than all of these. It has missiles, if I'm not mistaken. It has a better interior. It has access to hauling, which some of these don't. It can carry a lot of people. And obviously it has a bed, all of that stuff. It can travel quite far as well, and it looks quite good. But it's more of a role playing ship, if I'm going to be honest. But in my opinion, if I'm being completely like unbiased, that's where I'm going to have to stick it. I know obviously people might not agree with me, or they might agree with me, but I would much rather just be completely honest and throw it out there that that's where I think it is. Anyways, the Sulan, I'm going to be completely honest. Yes, it's a good flight. It's a good flying ship, but it's a little bit complicated when you're just starting out and this ship has a different flying model compared to every other ship in the game. Like the buttons and everything like that, like the direction of where you land and like where you have to land, you have to flip onto your back and then land downwards. That model, in my opinion, puts me off having that as a starter ship. That's just my opinion. Obviously, some people love it, some people hate it. I don't mind it. It's just a case of the flight model makes it a lot worse for a starter ship when it's completely different to every other ship in the game. I know that's like saying, oh, well, that's like saying that you should put the golem in like COD tier because it's a different profession than your normal like Avenger Titan and things like that. Yeah, sure, whatever. But when it's a flight model that you have to do every single day, if you want to play the game every single day, that's something that you're gonna have to get used to. And if you've used the Sulan all the time, the buttons would just be like, what the hell? Because when I first flew the Sulan, I was like, what the hell? So it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I'm gonna put it in the bottom of C tier, below the 100i, because of the flight model. That's like my main reason on it. And obviously, I think there's better options out there for people to pick for starter ships. But is it a good ship to buy with your money in game? Absolutely. Spend your money on it. Like, it's a great fly, but you need, in my opinion, in this is just me, I would much rather, like, if I was to recommend the game to a friend again, I would really recommend saying to them, like, hey, make sure you buy this ship first, get used to that flight model, save up and buy it in game. That's where I would come from. I'm not being mean to the ship or anything like that. That's just purely my opinion. Finally, we've got the Cutlass Black. And I think a lot of people already knew where this was going. And it's going in S tier. Because this thing is the powerhouse of starter ships. I know it costs £110 or so, something like that. But the reason I'm saying it's the powerhouse, and obviously it's going in S tier, isn't because of the cost. I'm leaving the cost out of it. the point is that this is a great all rounder, and it allows you to progress further in multiple different fields. You can obviously go further. You can store a lot more things, like pardon me. You can store like mining ships, like not mining ships, mining cars, smaller cars like hover quads, things like that, cargo, people, everything like in the back. There's quite a few things that you can store in the back. You have 3 access points, main access points. Yeah, no, 3 access points. The 2 side doors, and obviously a back door. So there's a lot of room to get things in and out, and it's not crammed from just the back door point of view. As well as that, it's also got a gun seat, so if you bring a friend along, obviously it's a really good addition. Like, you can bring a friend, that's fantastic. Or if you've made a friend, you can bring them along, or you can go and join someone in one if you buy one in game. But yeah, obviously as well, the main gunner has a whole arsenal to himself, and I think that's great because I think that obviously the fact that you have that available to you in, like, your daily driver is obviously great because you'll then have a fighting chance against maybe some larger ships, or you could scare them off and things like that if you couldn't take them all the way. But yeah, that's been my tier list. That's obviously my opinion on it. Feel free to let them know, let me know in the comments what you think. I know this has been a relatively long video. It was longer than my other tier list as well, and that went on a while, but I left a couple of ships out of that, and that's my fault. So yeah, I do apologize for that. Obviously, I did apologize in the comments. But yeah, let me know what you think. I would love to hear, obviously, your own opinions and everything. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys check out my Discord. I'd really appreciate it. It's up to you though. Like, subscribe, and obviously, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. See you in the next one.